Hello, classic rock fans. I am reporting live after seeing Bruce Dickinson's live spoken word concert tonight. This was not a typical concert, as in it wasn't live music. Rather, instead, it was Iron Maiden lead singer Bruce Dickinson doing a one-man show that was part stand-up comedy, part autobiographical, and part Q&A. Basically, he came out, gave us a very long and entertaining monologue. We took a break, and then he came back for some questions and answers. This is a very unique show. I've never seen a rock star do something like this before, so I was very intrigued when I saw that he was coming to town to do it. I'm not the biggest Iron Maiden fan. I've never seen them in concert, unfortunately, and that's to my regret. I'm very curious to see them live because Bruce Dickinson was fantastic tonight. It was a very entertaining live show. The tickets are priced as what a typical concert would be at the venue I went to. This was at the Pabst Theater in Milwaukee. So you might be wondering, how is this sort of show worth the same for a ticket as a proper music concert would be? And the answer is Bruce Dickinson. And that's because Bruce Dickinson is a phenomenal storyteller and genuinely very funny. And the event went for quite a while. Doors opened at 6:30, show got started right around 7:30, and when he had finished up, it was 10:25. So almost a 3-hour show. And this is how it broke down. The first part of the show, he came out and he talked about his childhood. He talked about going to an English boarding school and spent a bit of time talking about the differences between American public schools and English public schools, and how those boarding schools are just rife with child abuse. And it sort of felt like he was telling us his own story of Pink Floyd's The Wall, and echoed some of the same sentiments that I talked about that were in the Michael DeBar documentary, Who Do You Want Me to Be? Basically about how horrible these English boarding schools are. Thankfully, Bruce did this in a humorous manner, so even though he's talking about some pretty horrible things, he did it in a way that didn't ruin the night for anybody and didn't make anything uncomfortable. And he was able to do that because he's a great storyteller. Everything he talked about was very funny, even the heavier topics. So from there, he talks about how he discovered his love of music, how he got his first band, his first gig, how he got signed to his first band that was on a label, the band Samson. And then he talked about how he got into Iron Maiden. Told some Iron Maiden, war stories, and then finished up with talking about how he survived a bout with cancer, which again, very heavy topic, but he did it in a manner that was engaging and funny and genuinely uplifting. So when he had gotten to the end of that bit, he got a big round of applause because he took a very heavy topic and told a positive story out of it. A little bit after that, he showed a music video for a newer song called The Writing's on the Wall. So I like that music video because it looks straight out of 1981's cult classic movie Heavy Metal. All that great animated violence, blood and guts, lots of fun. And that was a cool way to mark the intermission. After the music video, there's about a 15-20 minute break for people to run to the bathroom or get another beer. One of the options was his own Trooper Ale, which was a nice treat. Very cool to see him bring that Trooper out to the show. I don't know if you remember this, but if you saw, I had a podcast last year in which I sampled Trooper and also one of its other beers that they make called Sun and Steel.
Cheers! Cheers. Do you know what this style of beer is even?
No.
Okay.
And I enjoyed both, so it was very cool to drink a Trooper in my seat while Bruce was up on stage drinking one of his own. So fans of Iron Maiden and their Trooper Ale should definitely appreciate that little aspect of the show. After the intermission, he came out for a Q&A session, and the questions were submitted ahead of time because he was reading them off paper. I'll be honest, I didn't see how we were able to do that, so that was probably a missed opportunity, but I really didn't have a good question for him anyway. A lot of the questions, at least for this show, were about his solo albums and also about his sort of other career as an airline pilot.
What possessed you to get your pilot's license? And has this contributed to any songs? Well, actually quite a few. I mean, Kill Devil Hill is on the solo record. That's about the Wright brothers and the discovery of flight. Death or Glory is about flying a Fokker triplane. Aces High, clearly. Coming Home is an aviation song. There's a bunch of them. Silver Wings, that's another song on one of the solo records. So there's a whole load. There's probably some more as well, but I just can't think of any. Empire of the Clouds, right? So there's a lot of them, and yes, it has.
So he told us a bunch of stories about flying airplanes, both large and small, and that was really entertaining, and some of those stories were really funny. So that was great. And then at the end, there was a couple of questions about a certain song, and he closed it out by singing a few bars from it. So very cool note to close the show out on.
I throw myself into the sea, release the wave, let it wash over me.
I gotta say, it was very entertaining, very funny, very engaging, and it makes me really want to go down to Chicago this fall to see Iron Maiden's Legacy of the Beast tour at the United Center in October. I don't have tickets for that yet, but given how much fun tonight was, I think I'm going to have to. And I'm definitely going to start listening to more Iron Maiden because Bruce is a cool guy, and the music he did play for us during the intermission and with the music video, I liked what I heard. So I think this was a definitely good night for music fans. If you're an Iron Maiden fan, if you like Bruce Dickinson, this is absolutely a show you want to go to. If, for nothing else, you're going to be in a crowd with other diehard fans. You know, this is a rare night out to be with your people. It's a great night out for diehard Iron Maiden fans. Honestly, you know, as some of our rock stars are getting older and older, I kind of wish they would do stuff like this, because I have to imagine it's, you know, easier on the bodies, and frankly, these stories are fun, and this is what fans want to hear. We want these stories. We want these perspectives. So I applaud Bruce Dickinson for what he's up to. Like I said, I'm going to hopefully get tickets to see him with Iron Maiden proper in Chicago this October. We'll see how that plays out. And if he's coming to your town, you should absolutely go see him and get yourself a Trooper while you're there. Otherwise, thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please find our social media links in the description below. If you're a fan of classic rock, and I expect you are, I don't know if you know this, but I host a podcast about classic rock, so you should check that out as well. Link also in the description below. So that's all I got. Thanks for tuning in. Keep rocking.
Toughest of them, I once believed the tears of the dragon for you.